Coming from a digital analysis background,
Kia ora team, and welcome back to another edition of Big Boys Boxing Live. If you'd like to get on the panel, come and talk some boxing, simply hit the Discord server invite in the description. Go to the voice channel named Live Panel, click it, and you're on. It's that simple. So without further ado, let's do this. What is up, team? Hope you all are doing well, and we're pretty much on lockdown. This is the first day I've had in a while to be able to do a stream. I've had my kids home for the last week. I sent them to school in kindy today. Hopefully nothing too bad happens, but numbers are down at school anyway. There's a lot of people not sending their kids. We got three schools already shut down. It is what it is, man. This COVID-19 is making the world crazy, with over 13,000 deaths globally. Luckily down here in New Zealand we got 66 confirmed cases as of last night, no deaths, and not really any community contagious COVID-19 as yet. So fingers crossed we can slow the curve. Hopefully this will all be over in a couple of months. But man, the world is going crazy. So there's no boxing to report on. It's all being cancelled. And yeah, we're pretty much in lockdown. So I'm expecting here in New Zealand that we're probably going to be locked down by the end of the week. We're getting, what do we get? 14 cases yesterday, 19 cases the day before. So we'll see what happens, man. But we've only got 3 schools closed in New Zealand that I know of so far, and we'll take it from there. But I guess I'll go and open up the voice channel. There is a link in the description for anybody who wants to come on, have a yarn, can talk about anything today, because there ain't boxing to talk about. So I'll just get into the voice channel. Live panel, I'm in. Nobody else is in at the moment, but we'll take it as it comes. So there's plenty of funny memes going around about COVID-19, you know. I got one sent to me yesterday, it was pretty funny. A picture of a mutt. A picture of a vagina with tape across it, like stitches, and at the top it says everything's on lockdown, and then at the bottom it says, luckily I know the owner, so I might get let in the back door. Another one I saw was an old dude had a Norton antivirus disc, 2 holes drilled in the side, piece of string around it, and had the hole in the middle of the disc on his nose, strapped around his head with the antivirus show. Some crazy shit, man. Yo, can you let me know in the chat if you can hear me? Make sure everything's okay. Actually, I'll go and do a quick sound test over here. Virus, yeah, we're good. we good. So John Daly in the house. Good to have you, brother. Who else we got in? No one else yet. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, y'all. Subscribe to the channel as well. Well over the 1,000 now, and as you can see, if you feel like donating to the channel at all, there is a link in the description via PayPal, but you can also hit Super Chat now. So the last week or so, like I say, I haven't been able to make any content. I've been keeping a little bit busy. Actually starting to try and do a bit of affiliate marketing, starting up a website. My website won't have anything to do with boxing, obviously, but I will be putting some things on there, like free software that I use for making videos, for streaming, and I will be uploading tutorials on how to use them and all that shit to the website. So if any of y'all are interested in that sort of shit to get yourself up and running on YouTube, possibly even down the line I might do some tutorials on affiliate marketing as well. You can make money from companies that supply products by you advertising for them. They pay you for that sort of shit. So yeah, it's what I've been doing to keep busy, trying to keep my mind off the craziness of the world, man. You're all good so far. Just on lockdown, yeah, man. In the UK, no gyms open. So on home workout, yeah, me too, man. Doing a bit in my garage. Haven't been doing my usual 3 kilometer trek to and from school and kindy the last week or so. So feeling a bit fat, but you got to do what you do. Got to continue doing what you can do. Prepare for the worst. Take it as it comes, man. That's all we can do. Keep your kids safe. Keep your elderly safe. Elderly are the worst affected at the moment, eh? My partner's got a 90-year-old great grandmother who's just got out of hospital from surgery, so she's living with my partner's mother at the moment, way out in the country, isolated to try and keep away from all the bugs. So those are the ones that are most vulnerable, and anybody who's sick as well can be pretty vulnerable. I did get a message yesterday, actually. I might see if I can play it for you. There's some reports coming out of China that they know how the virus behaves now. So I've got this voice message here. It could be quite helpful information, but I don't know how bogus it is either, you know. So I'll just find it on my phone here and I'll play it for you. Here it is. Listen in.
Hi guys, just wanted to pass on this information. It was sent to me by a colleague who has a friend that works at Dr. Negrin, which is the main hospital
Damn thing.
on our island. It's obviously in Spanish, so I'm just gonna read it and translate it for you. This is what it says. The Chinese now understand the behavior of the COVID-19 virus thanks to autopsies that they have carried out. This This virus is characterized by obstructing respiratory pathways with thick mucus that solidifies and blocks the airways and lungs. So they have discovered that in order to be able to apply a medicine, you have to open and unblock these airways so that the treatment can be used to take effect. However, all of this takes a number of days. Their recommendations for what you can do to safeguard yourself are: number 1,
Fucking thing keeps stopping.
drink lots of hot liquids, coffee, soups, teas, warm water. In addition, take a sip of warm water every 20 minutes because this keeps your mouth moist and washes any of the virus that's entered your mouth into your stomach, where the gastric juices will neutralize it before it can get to the lungs. Number 2, gargle with an antiseptic in warm water, like vinegar or salt or lemon, every day if possible. Number 3, the virus attaches itself to hair and clothes. Any detergent or soap kills it, but you must take a bath or a shower when you get in from the street. Avoid sitting down anywhere and go straight to the bathroom or shower. If you cannot wash your clothes daily, hang them in direct sunlight, which also neutralizes the virus. Number 4, wash metallic surfaces very carefully because the virus can remain viable on these for up to 9 days. Take note and be vigilant about touching handrails and door handles, etc. I guess within your own house as well, you can make sure that you are keeping those clean and wiping them down regularly. Number 5, don't smoke. Number 6, wash your hands every 20 minutes using any soap that foams. Do this for 20 seconds and wash your hands thoroughly. Number 7, eat fruits and vegetables. Try to elevate your zinc levels, not just your vitamin C levels. Number 8, animals do not spread the virus to people. It's person-to-person transmission. Number 9, try to avoid getting the common flu, I guess because this just already weakens your system, and try to avoid eating and drinking cold things. And number 10, if you feel any discomfort in your throat or a sore throat coming on, attack it immediately using the above methods. The virus enters the system this way and remains for 3 or 4 days within the throat before it passes into the lungs. Good luck to everyone. Take care of yourself and pass this information along if you wish, he says. So I've heard a lot of the same thing from a lot of different sources. So it seems to me that this is now kind of very credible advice that people can be taking on board to try and protect themselves. Hope it helps. Bye.
So there you go. Like she said, it's just what everyone's saying, so how valid it is. But it sounds pretty credible to me. Yeah. And virus seems to hang around in your mouth and can hang around in there for up to 4 days. So kill that shit, man. Kill that shit. Rafi's in the house. How are you, brother? Good to have you in. I guess you're on lockdown as well, Rafi, since you're not working Sunday night over there. Yeah, things are a lot worse over there than they are here. We only got 66 cases so far, but it is what it is, man. It's a pandemic. It's a bad flu. It's killing old people. From what I've heard, there's nobody under the age of 15 that's died from it yet. So seems the younger ones that are still developing an immune system are a bit more tolerant of it, or maybe they just aren't getting exposed to it because everyone's worried about kids, and the old people are all copying it instead. So it's the worst occurrence of this sort of thing since like the Black Plague, 1700s, 1800s. It's massive. Lockdown, yep, lockdown. So I guess start trying to look for a bit of boxing content to look at. I did see Mick Hennessy managed to get some money out of Tyson Fury, because he didn't honour his promotional deal when he came back from his retirement. He was actually still under contract from Mick Hennessy. So Mick Hennessy's managed to get $1.5 million out of him. It's hardly even a dent in Tyson's pockets these days, but I guess it's probably about what he would have made in his 2 comeback fights against Fury and who's the other one? Fury. Shit, forget. Francesco Pianeta, that's who it was. So Mick Hennessy needs the money, that's for sure. So that's done and dusted. Just looking at the news here at the moment on Boxing Scene. Fury v Wilder rematch pay-per-view to be replayed on ESPN. So we've got something to watch, but I've been watching a few fights, older fights lately, and it's just not the same when you know who's going to win. It's not the same. I mean, it's cool to watch some boxing, and particularly some of the great fights. But more recent ones aren't as good because you know the outcome. It's hard to find a lot of good recent fights, particularly at heavyweight. I mean, there's a few out there. There's the Joshua Klitschko fight was pretty exciting. The Brazil versus Easy Huguenot fight was an exciting fight to watch. I enjoyed that one. Usyk v Bellew was pretty exciting. The old Joshua versus White fight was a pretty decent one to watch as well. You can go and watch any Himia fight and it's exciting. So there's a few you can go and watch, but like I say, it's just not the same when you know who's gonna win. What else we got here? Billy Joe Saunders apologizes after airport prank. Oh, that's the first I heard of that one. Tyson Fury. Oh, there's the story I was just talking about. Tyson Fury pays $1.5 million to settle lawsuit with Mick Hennessy. Just looking for any other decent news to talk about. Maurice Hooker, not interested. Roger Mayweather died. Yeah, he was ill. Like Floyd says, his health was failing him, and now he can rest in peace, so no more pain. But on the subject of celebrity deaths, Kenny Rogers died yesterday. Sad. When I was a kid, my mother had a boyfriend who was a country music buff, so I know most Kenny Rogers songs, a lot of them word for word. You've got the classics like The Gambler and Coward of the County, and what's that other one that the Bee Gees remade as well? Can't remember that one. Can't remember the name, but he's a legend, is Kenny Rogers. Farewell to him, and best of luck up there. Rest in peace, man. Alright, back to boxing. What else have we got here? Just looking for any Pacquiao, not afraid to die. Helping Filipinos during COVID-19 pandemic. Well, it's part of his job, isn't it? He's a senator, so put your mask on and do what you can, Pac-Man. Frank Warren discusses coronavirus impact. Frampton hearing more. No, not interested in that story either. Vitaly Klitschko gets more aggressive in battle against coronavirus. Everything's coronavirus, man. Looking for something to do with boxing. WBSS to start fantasy tournament at heavyweight. Ooh, might have a quick listen to that. Let's see what this story's about. Fantasy heavyweight tournament. Always wondered about whether they should try and do a WBSS tournament. I imagine because there's so much money involved in those big weight divisions that it'll be hard to get fighters to comply to fight in it, but we'll see what this article says. Have a listen.
WBSS to start fantasy tournament at heavyweight. As boxing fans around the world look for distractions, the World Boxing Super Series have decided to launch a special EWBSS Heavyweight Legends Tournament to provide some much-needed relief and entertainment for fight fans around the world. The EWBSS Heavyweight Legends Tournament will be simulated on EA Sports Fight Night Champion video game and feature 8 of the most recognizable heavyweights from history, including the greatest Muhammad Ali. And they will compete in the traditional World Boxing Super Series format to lift the EALI trophy. The roster announcement will be made this coming Sunday, and the draw will take place on the @WB Super Series social channels on Sunday 22nd at 5 p.m. GMT. The tournament will begin with the first quarterfinal taking place on Monday the 23rd of March, and there will be a live-streamed fight every night until the final on Sunday the 29th of March. The entire EWBSS Heavyweight Legends Tournament will be live-streamed on the World Boxing Super Series Facebook page at 5 p.m. GMT every day. With this EWBSS Heavyweight Legends Tournament, the WBBS hope they can provide a much-needed distraction for people around the world. Tags, World Boxing Super Series. User comments and feedback. Comment by Rocky Big Blower on March 20. =F Pandas, 20 million.
There we go. So, I see in the chat there, Rafi, you don't know what Calder the county is. You for real, bro? Dave. How did it start? Folks just called him Yellow. It's a story about the song tells a story about a guy whose father died in prison when he was like 10 years old. And some of the last words his father said to him was, you don't have to fight to be a man. You can turn your back on trouble, walk away. And this kid grew up. He was getting picked on. Everyone considered him the coward of the county. But folks just called him Yellow. He grew up to a teenager. His girlfriend got raped by 3 or 4 guys. And he found her afterwards. Went to the bar where the local guys who raped her hung out. Walked in, met one of them halfway across the floor. One of them said, "What are you gonna do?" He turned around and walked away, and they said, "Hey, look, old Yellow's leaving." But you could have heard a pin drop when he stopped and locked the door. and he beat them all up, and then he went home and took his daddy's picture off the fireplace and said, "Sorry, Daddy, sometimes you gotta fight to be a man." Yeah, I thought I'd explain it anyway. But that's one of my favourite Kenny Rogers songs. A lot of people don't know the Count of the County song, but it's a good story to the song. Was one of the reasons I liked it more so as a kid. But yeah, the fantasy tournament from WBSS. What did they say? It's gonna be on the EA Sports. Where is it? The tournament will begin with the first qualifier final taking place. No. They said on a game. Oh, here it is. Will be on the WBSU. There's a link in the. Let's see. If I click on the link, where does that take me? We'll have a look. Well, it looks like a link. I'm clicking on it and nothing's happening. Maybe I'll try open link in new tab. And the new tab is blank, so maybe it's only available in some countries or something. Oh, that's cool, something to keep us occupied. I have to look into that. A couple of times I've had guys on and we've made like a 8-man bracket tournament for heavyweights, and had some interesting results, so maybe that's something I could organise for the next stream. Get a few names in the hat, we'll put them in, we'll pull a few names out and do a bracket tournament, randomise it and see who we come out with as a consensus winner. Who beats who, we'll vote for who beats who and what fights, and it could be a bit of fun, keep us entertained. Well, there ain't squat happening, man. Ain't shit going on. What else is going on? Looking through some more stories, see what else we got. There's the WBSS one. Kimbo Slice capable of knocking out Deontay Wilder. Says Baby Slice. Well, Kimbo Slice is dead, man. So he ain't knocking out shit. Who's this Baby Slice? Is that his son? For those of you who don't know, Kimbo Slice is a street fighter. Originally got into some MMA, got beaten a couple of times. Oh, okay, Kevin Baby Slice Ferguson Jr. So I guess that's his son. We'll have a listen to this article.
Kimbo Slice capable of knocking Deontay Wilder out, says Baby Slice. Kevin Baby Slice Ferguson Jr., the son of the late Kimbo Slice, believes his father would have did really well in a boxing match with former WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder. Kimbo was one of the first YouTube legends, with his backyard brawls. His online popularity led him to the world of mixed martial arts, where he competed for Elite XC, Bellator and UFC. He picked up wins over MMA legends like Tank Abbott and Ken Shamrock. Kimbo, who was guided by veteran promoter Gary Shaw, would enter the world of boxing in 2011, and compiled a record of 7-0 with 6 wins by knockout. Shaw had high expectations for Kimbo in the heavyweight division, but the popular fighter had his last boxing match in 2013 and focused his full energy on MMA, where he was making a lot more money. Kimbo would have his last MMA bout in early 20. Ferguson believes his father, if he would have trained with a top-level boxing coach, would have did very well against Wilder in the ring.
Yeah, okay.
I actually think Kimbo would do really good. Deontay doesn't throw a...
Yeah, shut up. Okay, so I got Kimbo Slice's box record up. We'll have a look. I was thinking about it. Kimbo Slice versus Butterbean would have been a meme fight. But he didn't continue with boxing. He went back to MMA like the article said. So I'll get this profile up on screen. Give me a sec here. Salt my shit. Surprise, surprise. Chrome isn't capturing for me. Always does that. Gotta choose the window. Streamlabs is doing some funny shit these days. Not sure why. Where's my browser? It's not showing my browser. There it is. Boom, found it. Alright y'all, here's Kimbo Slice. Kimbo Slice 7-0. He may have had some problems against Deontay Wilder because he's only 6'2". He's not a huge guy, eh? So he would have been 5 inches shorter with the reach. What's Deontay Wilder's reach? It's 84 centimeters, 84 inches. I think it's 84. Let's have a quick look. See if I can bring Deontay up. Deontay Wilder Boxrick, the King of Wakanda. He's suspended currently because he got stopped. He's 6'7", 83-inch reach, so Kimbo would have had a reach disadvantage of 6 inches, half a foot as well. I mean, there's definitely the theory that guys who push forward and have a good chin could have had a chance at stopping Wilder, but I think educated pressure is the problem for Wilder, not so much just come forward, take 5 shots to land one big shot. So Kimbo's record, let's look at his resume. Shane Tilliard, 6-6, 5-4. Howard Jones, Jesse Porter, 3-4. So he never fought anybody of any note when he was fighting. Brian Green, Charlie Hackman. Actually, I heard of Charlie Hackman. I don't know why. Maybe it's someone else. 0-1 was Charlie Hackman. Tape was 2-3. So out of all of his fights, there's only one guy who had a winning record, and he's 5-4. Howard Jones. So I don't know how good Kimbo Slice would have done, but it is what it is. I'll get it off the screen. Deontay Wilder. Hopefully he can make some improvements and come back when we get over this corona shit. So there we go, and we have someone. We have Rafi in the house. How are you today, brother? Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Can't hear you at present, brother, for some reason. Is your mic on? Well, I'm not sure why your mic ain't working, brother. Maybe you're not muted. Maybe you gotta allow the microphone or something. We'll see. Just button if you think you get it sorted out. Maybe drop out and jump back in again if it's not working. Have a look. No, I'm not hearing Rafi. I can't hear a thing. When you talk, there should be little like vibration signals around your avatar. You can see mine's got the green thing around it. Yours has got the green thing. Oh, why is it not working? It says you're talking, but it's not coming through. Maybe I'll jump out and jump back in. See what happens. When you talk, there should be little like... got you now, Rafi.
212.
Yep, you're good. It must have been me, mate.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Hello? Yeah.
Good.
Can you hear me? Yeah. 1, 2.
Yep. Sweet ass.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's my first time using Discord. I don't know what the hell I did. I just pressed some buttons and hope for the best. You know what I mean?
Roger that. I've seen a few people jump in sometimes for their first time. It doesn't seem to work very well if I'm already in here, but if you ever have trouble, just jump out and jump back in and see what happens.
Yeah, okay, mate. Yeah.
So, you got any
Corona,
particular subjects? Oh yeah, subject. Yeah, Corona. My Corona.
Yeah, man. It's weird. It's a weird one. It's very strange.
Pretty
strange seeing the environment. Mad.
Pretty much everyone on lockdown over there, I take it.
Yeah, kind of just it's really kicked in this week for me anyway. I mean, this week was when, a lot of places started shutting down, a lot of bars, the gyms have shut down now. Places are just slowly, places that you don't have to be, so I think I did through town on Saturday night, bro. A lot of the places are shutting down. McDonald's only doing takeouts.
Yeah,
there's a lot of leisure places shutting down. Anything for leisure, restaurants, etc. Non-essential places, they appear to be shutting down.
Yep. So you still doing a bit of work yourself, or you just staying at home?
Well, no, I'm doing a bit of work, but not gym based. So everything's out of gym.
Okay, fair enough. Yep. I was saying earlier, it's the first day I've sent my kids back to school and whatnot. I've had them home nearly all last week, so when I turned up there wasn't many kids there. So it's probably a good thing that there's not many there, but I expect by the end of the week here in New Zealand we'll probably have full shutdown like you have over there. We've only got 66 cases so far and no dead, so
dead. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and 40 of them have been in the last 2 days, so we've only got travelers contact pass on so far, no community based contagion so far, so slowing the curve hopefully.
Yeah, maybe you have less tourists and people traveling in and out than the UK. It's a smaller country as well, isn't it? So
wow, it's actually bigger in size, but you've got 60 million more people than us.
New Zealand is bigger than
Bigger than the UK, mate.
Is it?
Slightly, yeah. Our islands.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I was actually surprised when I looked it up. So
Dang.
I learnt something that
Dang.
day. Yeah. So we've got 5 million. You got 65. That's the difference.
Army. That's a big difference. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not really prone to illness, so I didn't take it seriously until probably until the last week. Really, the last week I was out drinking. Last Saturday, not this Saturday, but last Saturday. The place wasn't capacity, which was good. But it was like I think Sunday when I started to see things, in the public, and I thought, And then throughout the week, you start seeing a few people wearing masks. Telltale sign that we had something was serious was toilet paper.
Yeah.
You can't get no toilet paper.
Yeah.
Everyone's buying up the toilet paper over here.
Yeah. We got some restrictions at the supermarket over here as well. You're only allowed, if you're going to buy the big bulk packs of toilet paper, you're only allowed one per person. And the biggest problem over here, my partner went shopping yesterday. There's no meat in the supermarkets. The meat is all gone. And you can't buy freezers in any of the shops like Harvey Norman or Noel Leeming or anything like that. The freezers are all sold out. Wow.
Blimey.
They're going nuts.
Bloody hell. Yeah. Toilet paper and meat. Yeah, definitely. I don't know what the correlation is, but there's definitely, when you see the toilet paper is so scarce, and you think, what the hell is going on? It's not a diarrhea virus, is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the hell? What's going on? What's the correlation? I don't see it. I don't understand.
Yeah. My partner's brother lives in Australia, and they've got no toilet paper anywhere over there. So my missus said, I can send you over some second-hand stuff if you like. He didn't like that.
Might have to be the old wet newspaper job, I'm afraid.
Yeah. What's his name? Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch puts out a lot of stuff that you could use for toilet paper. Tabloids.
Yeah, might have to be the old wet the toilet, wet the newspaper job again.
Yeah.
Old school style.
Yeah. Hopefully not too much ink comes off. Excuse me for a sec. I'm just switching over to my phone, Rafi. While I do that, you want to give us your opinion on what's going on with Tyson Fury and Mick Hennessy? You knew about that story?
Yeah, I heard about that. Well, from you, yeah. Well, yeah, it's about time. It's about time the big dust are paid up, isn't it? Hey, Mick Hennessy. Mick Hennessy, poor old Mick, kind of raising people up from nowhere, from out of obscurity, and then get kicked to the curb. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay the man something. Pay, pay him. Right? Hold on, what's going on here? Why am I hearing myself twice? That's a bit strange.
Probably because I was switching over. You hear me okay now?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Yeah.
Echo's gone.
Yeah. So he's been due a payment for some years now, and what is it? 5 years that this has been going on. 5 years since he left Mick Hennessy, something like that.
Kind of flew under the radar. When he came back, there was no talk of Mick Hennessy, and I thought he already had a promotional pact with Frank Warren prior to that anyway, because he was boxing on Frank's shows, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe Mick Hennessy got a bit shortchanged, was my first thought. $1.5 million isn't a lot compared to what Tyson's making nowadays.
No, it seems like peanuts, doesn't it? But I know Mick, I think there was a recent interview, latter part of last year, where Mick was asked in an interview. He says, "Well, what's been your biggest disappointment, and in your career as a promoter?" He was what's the term? He was diplomatic. He was diplomatic about it, but he lack of loyalty. Well, he said Tyson Fury the way things went with Tyson Fury, and he alluded to loyalty or he's basically saying he was disappointed at the lack of loyalty from Tyson Fury, although he didn't say it in those consecutive words, but that's what he was saying.
I guess
I mean, sorry, carry on.
Can understand that, considering how Mick was pretty much the only one to stand by Tyson in his earlier career, wasn't he? And then Tyson makes it big and he buggers off on him.
Yeah. Well, Tyson Fury is clearly a man who has a very clear handle on the fact that we come through this life as we are under the name we have once, and seems like Tyson Fury has a very, very clear understanding that you've got to do what's best for you.
Yep.
One of these types of people who's just going to stick around in a situation that he doesn't like, regardless of whose feelings might get a little bit hurt. He'll do what's best for Tyson Fury.
Yeah, well, when it comes down to it, it's prize fighting, isn't it? Loyalty will only last so long if somebody's offering a lot more money somewhere else. You're fighting for money, so you're not fighting for loyalty alone.
Yeah. So, I don't take any issue with Tyson Fury leaving, but I think fairness has to come into it, and so the guy gives you a platform. If you owe him some money and it's contractual, then pay the man his money.
Yep.
So go if you want to go. Go if you want to go, but you square it up. Pay what you owe in a timely manner.
Yeah. I dare say they're not very good friends anymore because of the issue. If it had been tidied up when Tyson left them, maybe they'd still be mates. So.
Yes. Yeah. There's a right and a wrong way to do things. I think if you're leaving a relationship, whatever type of relationship it is, personal, friendship, intimate, business, whatever type of relationship it is, I think it's if you're leaving, then it's always nice to square things up when you're leaving.
Yeah, nobody likes that sour aftertaste.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Any other subjects that you've noticed that are worth talking about at present?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've kept away from boxing for the last couple of days. Just a few days away. Just a few days away. Come back refreshed. So I haven't really stayed up to date. I mean, Alejandra Jimenez, she's been stripped by that's the super welterweight, is she? No, not super welterweight, super middleweight female fighter who fought Cruz DeZern. The WB she failed the drug test for stanozolol, the steroid stanozolol.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, she's been stripped by the WBO. So now Cruz DeZern has been reinstated as the WBO super middleweight female champion. So she's been reinstated. Alejandra won by points, of course. So she's the woman who a lot of people say looks very mannish. and she at a heavyweight, I believe, and then she lost a lot of body fat, and now she's a super middleweight. Looks very streamlined, and so there was a suspicion. There was argument: is she really a man? Because she looks very mannish. So the answer appears to be man, but she was taking steroids, which is male hormones, testosterone primarily, and other male builds in male characteristics into the user. So it seems consistent with stanozolol.
Yeah. I'm just looking at boxing now. I'm wondering if there's still any scheduled. Do you know if the Chisora Usyk fight has been cancelled?
Or Usyk. Damn it, I did.
Usyk on the box it now. Find out.
Yeah, boxing's stopped in the UK up until the beginning of April. We're now March. Yeah, it's going to be reviewed in April, but I'm expecting they're going to wipe out the whole April schedule. Or really, it's a question of the fights now for May. I'd be surprised if anything goes ahead in April. Very surprised.
Yeah. It's that Pulev Joshua fight was scheduled for. Oh, that was June, wasn't it? Sorry, I thought it was April. June 20, wasn't it? Interesting. So they've still got the Chisora versus Usyk fight up. That's not until the 23rd of May, so might be safe.
I might have dodged a bullet. I might have dodged a bullet on that one. The Chisora. I think the one in doubt was Dubois v Joyce. I think that was in April. I think that was going to be in April. They pushed that back.
Oh yeah, April 18th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's right.
So they've pushed that back to July now.
Okay. We've got a date here for the 11th of July is what they've got now on boxing.
Yeah, they've pushed it back.
Okay, that's good.
They've pushed that back now. So that hopefully that should be in the safety zone. All being well, the virus will die a sudden death.
Yeah. That's course. I'm just looking at Dillian White and Alexander Povetkin. And that one's still scheduled for the 2nd of May. They've pushed that one back too because that was earlier before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the 2nd of May now anyway.
Oh no, yeah, that hasn't been pushed back. That was the original date, 2nd of May, I think.
Okay, that's good. All right, so bring it on the end of April. I wish I had a fast forward button to get through
it. Yeah. We definitely, it's definitely going to be curious to see how this thing works out because I can't remember another situation where public events have been shut down like this. Sporting events have been shut down for any extended period. I can't remember.
Nah, neither. I can't remember anything at all. Last time I remember anything getting shut down over here was back in 88 when we had Cyclone Bowler hit here and it smashed everything to bits. But that was only shut down things for a couple of days. It's the first time ever our borders have been closed to anybody except New Zealand citizens or residents. So it's a big deal. That's for sure.
Big deal. It's a big deal. It's a definitely big deal. Kind of slowly dawned on me. Beginning of this week, it's the real deal. It's the real deal when you see people walking around in masks and things selling out of the store, and and then now like people are staying indoors, so you don't really see that many people walking around. It's becoming very, very clear to me as someone who doesn't watch the news that this thing's big.
Do you know anybody that's sick?
I know someone who's died. Yeah.
Oh, you do? From the coronavirus?
Well, it's an elderly gentleman who I think is in his 80s, and he'd been taken sick recently, and apparently it's the coronavirus that finished him.
Okay. Definitely the vulnerable ones. It makes me worry.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier in the stream, my partner's grandmother, my kid's great grandmother, has just come out of hospital just as this coronavirus hit. So she's 90 and not well. So it's about the only one that I know that I'm worried for at present.
Yeah, it's the elderly. Seems to be the elderly who seem the most vulnerable for sure.
My mother and my brother and his wife and kids were all doing a big OE that they'd been planning for over a year to Ireland. So they'd had to cancel that as well. And man, what a rigmarole. So what can we do besides keep safe and
try and keep active within that,
Yeah. And even being self-quarantined at home, we're still recommended to get outside and get some sunlight on your skin as well, because vitamin D helps a lot with your immune system. So even though you're at home, make sure you do get some sunlight on you.
But to get your 10,000 steps, 3 miles a day, that'll see you right. But
the healthier you are, the less vulnerable you're gonna be. So yeah, try and keep fit as well.
Definitely. That's.
Make sure you eat well as well.
Well, get outside, get your 3 miles in per day. What's that? Walk for at least an hour walk, 30 minutes somewhere, and then 30 minutes back minimum. And got a hat on, preferably. Get the sun rays on you, produce that, help metabolize that vitamin D in the system. Talking about eating citrus fruits,
Yes.
vitamins, then just keep up with that. Your fish oils. Just try and stay healthy. Basically, really, it's not. They're not saying don't go outside. They're just saying don't congregate.
Yeah. Social spacing. I mean, like this morning when I was walking to school and kindergarten with the kids, there's nobody on the streets. So you're pretty safe in that regard if you want to get out and get some exercise. It's when you get into a supermarket or, where the madness is where you want to try and steer clear of. The streets are clear.
The streets are very, very clear. Might be a good day to go. Might be a good time to dust the bike off.
That's the one. Get that heart rate up.
Yeah. 100.
All right. What else that I can spot on the news that's worth talking about? Did you hear me talking about this WBSS Fantasy Heavyweight Tournament? Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
On that?
Fantasy. I never get into the fantasy stuff. Never really been one for fantasy leagues. I've been invited to join into some of them. But yeah, I mean, right about now, that's all we've got, isn't it? Fantasy. So
that's it.
So why not? Fantasy leagues. Yeah. I think one of the big fantasies would be Wilder v Joshua, but I mean, does that even matter anymore? And
we've been fantasizing and talking about that for, what was it, 3-4 years now?
easily. So that's a real big fantasy. But I don't know. Is Deontay Wilder's on radio silence, isn't he?
Seems to be, doesn't he?
I said, I haven't heard a peep out of him.
His fans seem to be doing a lot of talking. Whether he appreciates them talking on his behalf or not, I'm not so sure with some of the stuff they're saying. But today in New Zealand is the 23rd. Was it over the weekend that the march on the Nevada State Athletic Commission was supposed to happen?
March. Okay, yeah, I remember talk about the march, but I haven't seen a damn thing about. The march, so I don't think the march has happened. I think there would have been some comments on it.
I'll whip over to Barbershop Conversations and see if there's anything about it.
Yeah, I was heading over to the same group.
Barbershop Conversations. There we go.
Blood, shall I?
And videos. Let's see what's his name? Fred. See what Fred's done.
Fred Hawthorne.
That's his name, Fred Hawthorne.
What? Blood. I'm over at Blue Bloods. No mention of any marching.
I think maybe it might have got shut down because of this COVID-19, maybe. It's not a good idea to organise a gathering of that many people. Well, I expected it'd probably be at least a couple of hundred, but that's not allowed now. Donald Trump's said that you're not allowed gatherings over 100 in America, isn't he? So,
well, Donald Trump's clearly in on it, isn't he?
of course he is. Of course he is.
Donald Trump knew. He knew that they had what they'd organized. Yeah. He knew
he paid,
that there's a result of.
He must have paid Kenny Bayless.
Eddie Hearn paid, made a donation to Trump's re-election, and that in turn secured. I have it on good authority. I had it from a good source. That Eddie Hearn made a donation to Donald Trump's re-election, and as a consequence of which, then Trump obviously stopped the march.
Yep, for sure. And Eddie must have paid the WBC as well, I think, because they don't believe this Martin Clearfoot story. So
well, Solomon's changed sides. Switch sides. He switched sides. Switch sides. Left Deontay Wilder for dead. The man who has been loyal to his organization for the last 5 years, and all of a sudden, Master Eddie comes in with the big check, and they've done him again.
And I've just spotted the title of a video on Barbershop Conversations. So now that the WBC isn't protecting Wilder anymore, the WBC means what black champions?
OMG. OMG. Damn. What a switch around. The game changes so quick, changing the blink of an eye.
It's amazing, before that fight, how many of the Wilder supporters were praising the WBC, saying it's the most coveted title that any fighter could ever have. Now they're turning around and flipping the script. Now they're going to get on board with boycott WBC 2020 by the sounds of it.
Well, wouldn't it be ironic if they went to the WBO? I wonder what WBO would stand for then. The World.
Wilder's best option.
Yeah, the WBO could become the most beloved. This is the most prestigious of belts, the most prestigious, the most beloved. This is my new love. Crazy. So they've besmirched the WBO. Now they're besmirching the WBC. Can they not play chess? Can't they see where this is leading? Oh,
I think they best stick to checkers.
yeah. I see where this is leading. What the PBC belt? The PBC belt could be ushered in right now. You know.
Well, yeah, it's the time, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, here's the play. So what Wilder has to do within this play is say, well, clearly, because we can't trust Tyson Fury and his gloves, we're not going to fight him again. We're not going to fight him again. We're getting the next, or Deontay Wilder's next fight will be for the PBC world title. How about that then?
Sounds awesome.
Well, he's got Charles Martin over there to contend with. Who else? Might bring back Gerald Washington if he can beat Count. You got Charles Martin and Hellenius lined up. They're both coming off wins, aren't they?
They are. I think they're both due to fight each other for the IBF mandatory, but if the PBC belt's around, the IBF won't matter.
Damn. Bam. Bam.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
Unlike Donkey Kong. Wouldn't that be interesting? Just imagine if my prediction works out, that Deontay Wilder doesn't fight Tyson Fury, and instead he fights for the because of irregularities that he can't trust them anymore, and the WBC were in on it, the commission were in on it, the red jackets, the red jacket guys, whatever they are, the officials, they were in on it, they stood by, and so it's a man's not supposed to get hit in the brain, so but with dodgy gloves. So Deontay Wilder declines to fight Tyson Fury next, but next instead fights for the PBC belt. I mean, if you think about it,
what would make that not such a bad idea was if the PBC ran a 8-man bracket tournament for the PBC belt to start. Then Wilder would have to fight some up-and-comers like young hungry fighters in the PBC like Damani Rock or what's his name, Franklin, Jermaine Franklin, Trey Lippy Morrison. There's a few guys there that could get an opportunity and see if they can get knocked out or whether they can shine.
Yeah. I think it's on a serious note. I think it's got to be an interesting situation over there at the Wilder camp because I mean, I don't see him beating Fury.
Yeah,
he's fought him twice. He hasn't beat him once.
Yeah, even if you call that first one a draw, which according to a what was it? Who ran that survey? It was Ring Magazine ran the survey. 75% of people participating in that survey thought Tyson Fury still won that first fight. But let's call it a draw. Deontay Wilder still hasn't beaten Tyson Fury.
Correct. In 2 fights, and Tyson Fury has beat Deontay Wilder.
Yep. I say twice, but at least once, convincingly.
Yeah. The only reason I don't say twice is because I also feel that Deontay Wilder knocked out Tyson Fury, so that muddies the water a bit.
It does. And if it was any other fight, any other fight that wasn't a championship fight, or even if it was a championship fight between other fighters, most people would agree that that fight should have been stopped in the 12th when Tyson Fury was flat on his back looking at the lights, not moving. I've seen fights
That's
called off. Seen fights
Less than
called
that.
off for less, yeah. So
That right hand isn't going to work anymore. Not the way Tyson Fury smothering him and wrong footing him, pushing him back. Well, pushing him back means it wrong foots him anyway. So to wrong foot him, you just push him back. You just walk on him. Keep jinking, keep fiddling, keep shocking, and keep feinting. And while you're walking forward and winging over, slap him with the left, punch him with the right, and he'll be all wrong-footed, 2 left feet. And he can't punch, he can't land the right, he can't generate the power in the right when he's going backwards.
yep, it's the blueprint, isn't it? And every fighter that's capable of bringing educated pressure has a really good chance of stopping Deontay Wilder.
Yes, and so it's going to be really fascinating to see how. Hold on, that fight was scheduled for what, July? I think it was
July 18th, yep.
July 18th. All being well, things virus-wise, we're good. Virus is gone, and they're gonna get that fight on. But I'm really fascinated as to what the hell Deontay Wilder does after the second loss.
Yeah, there's been a bit of talk about what was actually in the rematch clause. Some people are saying that it had to be activated within 30 days, and I think that's fact. But some were saying that the fight had to be fought within 6 months of activating the rematch clause, and some are saying that it wasn't even an immediate rematch clause. So I wouldn't be so upset if Deontay took more time, left it till like December or something, and altered his game, because if he comes to the ring with the same game plan, we're going to get the same result. So what have you heard about the rematch clause? Does it have to be within 6 months, or was it
I've heard that it's got to be activated within 30 days, and it has been activated as confirmed by Bob Arum. So that part 1 has been completed. Second part is that the fight has to take place within 6 months.
okay. Was that confirmed by Arum as well, was it?
That has been confirmed on more than one occasion by Arum.
Okay.
This interview where he confirms it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Frank Warren has also confirmed within the 6 months thing.
Okay.
Oh,
February.
yeah, that is the stipulation. He's got to get in there within 6 months. Although Bob Arum also said that they would be prepared to pay Wilder step-aside money. And from the Wilder side, through Finkel, I think he said that no, we're not prepared to accept step-aside. So
Wow. Are they going to try and just cash out on Wilder? That's what it suggests to me.
well, that's where the
Not
big
willing
money
to
is.
take step-aside money and take more time to prepare and alter their game would be smart.
Yeah, that would be very smart, in my opinion. But they're not interested in stepping aside. I think they're seeing this as Deontay Wilder's big payday, or big paydays. So you got the fight that's 2 and 3 of the big paydays. Very strange.
I guess the percentage splits would have been organised prior to them signing the rematch contract. So
Percentage splits are known. They are known. The percentage splits are known, and it's 60 to the winner of the second fight and 40 to the loser. So it's 60 to Fury and 40 to Wilder.
okay, so even if they get the same amount of views and whatnot, Deontay would still be taking a pay cut from his last fight by 10%. And are they expecting the third fight to be even bigger? to make more money to cash out on Wilder. I think that's a flawed theory.
Yeah, I don't think they're expecting the second fight to be bigger. I don't think anyone's expecting the third fight to be bigger. It be bigger?
I don't think it'll be bigger. I mean, after a convincing loss like that, I think the stock of Wilder and the fans' interest would have gone down quite some. But then again, maybe the interest in Fury's gone up to make up for what Wilder's lost. So maybe it will be the same.
I was thinking it would be less. The interest would be less. However, I'm not so sure anymore because I'm thinking, hold on a second, this is gonna be intriguing. The third fight might be more intriguing than the second fight because the third fight we have a loser. We have a clear loser here. So can he get redemption? I think now we're looking at the same. We're not looking at less. I don't think we're looking at less anymore. I don't think we're looking at less because there's everybody who saw him lose in people who are concerned with Black History Month who saw him lose. Surely you're going to tune in to see if he can get redemption.
Surely, yeah.
Surely they're gonna. Every single one who watched it last time. Surely every single one plus more will watch it again. Surely, and the people who saw Fury win and were pleased. Surely every single one of those is going to be watching the third fight.
Yeah. So it could even be bigger. Wow.
Could even be bigger. It could even be bigger.
Yeah.
It could even be bigger because if you think about it, the third fight is more compelling than the second one was.
Yeah.
It's not beyond the realms of
I'm really hoping that Wilder has enough time to employ a different strategy and learn some skills because I want to see a competitive fight. But I guess there's also the thought of what's going to be on the undercard. If they make it a big heavyweight card with good competitive fights on it, it could well do a lot better.
Yeah. But I don't have much faith in them doing that. But if they did, then that would be very, very smart.
Yeah.
So my point of view has changed from it being a lesser grossing fight to at least the same, if not more.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down with that too. Now that we've broken it down a bit, it makes sense when you break it down properly. So
yeah.
And also, it wouldn't be hard to put on a better undercard than they did for the last time either, because that undercard was crap.
Garbage. What the garbage? It wouldn't be hard. It wouldn't be hard at all.
And by July 18th, if this coronavirus thing is blown over, there's going to be a lot of fighters trained up wanting to get in the ring as soon as possible. So there'll be a lot of guys trying to get on that card just to get a fight. So there's no excuse for having another crappy undercard.
No, not at all. They might, you never know. They might wheel out Stavern versus Ortiz to find out who gets to fight him next.
You're funny. Oh, dear.
I'm not even sure that's a joke though. That's the disturbing thing.
Well, being honest, my opinion of Bermane Stiverne as a fighter is a hell of a lot lower than Luis Ortiz. I know I do dog Luis Ortiz quite a bit about, not facing enough decent level competition and so on and so forth, but I still think he's 3, 4, 5 levels above Bermane Stiverne.
He is, no doubt, he is. But I was thinking more in terms of the setup. I'd like to set these things up. Oh, Kawanaki beats what's his name? The big Finnish guy. So if he beat him, then he would have been next on the list. But that didn't work out too well. I'd like to set it up. supposed to beat Hellenius, and he would have been fight with Wilder if Wilder had beat. It didn't work out that way.
Yep.
It didn't work out that
No.
way at all.
Not at all. Alright, so PC. Have one other quick look, see if I can find some other news. I see Manny Pacquiao's not afraid to die. He's in the Philippines doing everything he possibly can to help everybody through this coronavirus pandemic. That's good. Pacquiao's doing his job as a senator. I see also Vitaly Klitschko is working hard in his governing position in the Ukraine. So there's a
Is he
few
not
boxes.
prepared to die also?
Sorry?
Is he also prepared to? Is Klitschko also prepared to die?
It didn't say that in the article, but it says he's battling hard.
Battling, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
battling. I like that. I like that better. I prefer that to the prepared to die.
yeah,
Although prepared to die sounds like a Rambo film, doesn't it? So prepared to die.
yeah. I'm the man. I'll die for you.
He's prepared to die.
Yeah. I guess it's the exact opposite of trying to catch a body in the ring, isn't it?
That's opposite of that. It's the exact opposite of that. Damn.
Just reading an article here. Joseph Parker's manager, David Higgins, was it? His manager, David. All right, you got me there, Raffy? Hello? Can you hear me, Raff? Dang, you can't hear me. I'll have to go out and back in. Just give me a sec, peeps. Sorry. Technical difficulties.
Boom.
Gotcha.
Boom. Boom. He's back.
I'm back.
On the third boom. Perfect time. Yeah.
Awesome. Alright, so hopefully
You're
we've
in
got no more Dalek mode.
Yeah, okay, good. Good. You're back. You're good now. You're good.
Sweet.
So what are you saying, Jono? Because we missed all of that.
Yeah, well, I could see if a fight between Luis Ortiz and Dillian White was proposed for the end of the year sometime, I could see Ortiz asking for the same amount of money that he was offered to fight Anthony Joshua, simply because White fights under the Matchroom banner. But I've said it in the past, I think Dade Promotions have been shooting themselves in the foot with Luis Ortiz's career for a long time. They've been complaining that nobody wants to fight Ortiz because he's the boogeyman, yet they turn down multi-million-dollar offers when it's really hard to find fights. What they should be doing is, if they're offered those meaningful fights, it shouldn't matter how big the purse is that he's offered. They should be jumping on it, because if they can get to a mandatory position, the money will come anyway. But it's just madness that they're turning down deals at the same time as complaining how hard it is for Luis Ortiz to get a fight.
Mad.
Which side of the card do they want to play? You can't play both.
Ridiculous. Play both. It's ridiculous. I honestly believe that, and this is why I would love to see Ortiz in there with a Dillian White, with a Joshua. Dillian White most likely now. I just want to, because my theory is that Ortiz is effectively a shot fighter. He's shot. That's my theory. I don't know it is a fact. I have a theory that he's a shot, pretty much shot. And I have a theory that he would get handled. I have a theory, I have a belief that he would get handled by White, either White or Joshua would get handled. That's just a theory though. So I would love to see him in there to either prove or disprove my theory. Now, if my theory is correct, then PBC are keeping him away from the likes of the Whites, the Joshuas, on the basis that he could be exposed as no longer a top 10 fighter. And if that is the case, well, he could still be a top 10 fighter, but lower echelon top 10. And if that is the case, then that diminishes Deontay Wilder's wins over him. That's my theory. And I think that the PBC want to prop up Wilder as something that he's not. And therefore, it is in the PBC's best interest, as they see it, that he doesn't fight the likes of a White or a Joshua for that reason.
Yep.
That's my hypothesis.
It could even be done in-house, and he could possibly get exposed too, with Charles Martin, Adam Kovnarski, Efer Jugba.
Yeah.
Those guys could possibly expose him as well. So, they're saying it's really hard to find fights to get guys to step in the ring with them, but at the same time, the guys are there, and I think even Efer Jugba would have the balls to step in there and fight Luis Ortiz, but we're not going to see it because they know what could possibly happen. It could all be over with one loss against one of these guys for Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, I think they're propping him up. I think they propped up Deontay Wilder. Not saying they're no good, but I'm just saying that I think they've been advertised as better than they are. Deontay Wilder had all of those knockouts. But how many knockouts has he had against top opponents?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know if
And
you noticed,
you
but
have to.
don't know if you noticed, but Deontay Wilder's got a WBA ranking at number 2 now as well. I didn't notice that before.
I heard that. From I think it was your fellow
boxing,
Kiwi guy. Did
Boxing
the video.
Squared.
That's right. Yeah, I think he did a video on that. I think I saw that. So I think it's a prop-up job. It's like a prop-up job. It's like a Ponzi scheme. It's like it's not what it appears to be over there. But I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by the second Wilder Fury, the third Fury Wilder fight as it will be this time, third time around. And I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated to see Luis Ortiz against an acknowledged top 5 guy. Maybe even top 10 would do. I don't know who's in the top 10. 10 using box record 10 is Derek Chisora. Luis Ortiz is 9. Kubrat Pulev. I'd watch him against Derek Chisora. I'd watch him against Kubrat Pulev. Well, obviously that's Joshua's fight. Alexander Povetkin. I'd watch him against Alexander Povetkin.
That's one I've wanted to see for a long time because they're both the same age, and similar stature too.
Similar stature. I'd love to see that fight. Dillian White. I'd love to see that. Deontay Wilder. We've seen that. Andy Ruiz. I think that'd be a brutal night for Luis Ortiz. Very bad night for him.
Yep.
Alexander Usyk. Love to see that. Tyson Fury. Would I want to see that? I think Tyson Fury would make do the range. But I'd see that.
I think that'd be Cuban mincemeat.
Yeah, with the range, with his length, that would be terrible. And in all of those fights I've mentioned, Derek Chisora, Kubrat Pulev, Alexander Povetkin, Dillian White, Andy Ruiz, Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. I struggle to see who he beats. I struggle to see which one of those guys he beats. Luis Ortiz beats. Which one of those top 10 guys he beats.
We'll see. I've got a couple of them. I'll bring up BoxRec so I make sure I don't miss any. But I think Ortiz versus Povetkin could be close to a 50-50 fight, depending on how Povetkin looks against White. Because him being that similar age, we know he's on the slide as well. So I think that one's going to come down to who's going to slide faster. But there are a few there that's, well, most of them I'd say are pretty much foregone conclusions, like you say. Still trying to bring up BoxRec. I can't multitask for dog turd. BoxRec.
Derek Chisora at 10, Luis Ortiz at 9, Kubrat Pulev 8, Alexander Povetkin 7, Dillian White 6, Deontay Wilder 5, and Andreas the Punch Ruiz 4, Alexander Usyk 3, Tyson Fury 2, and Anthony Joshua 1.
So maybe the Derek Chisora fight is possibly winnable, but he'd have to do it early in the fight. I think he'd have to stop Chisora, and that's a task in itself.
Yeah. Like that fight.
It's a good fight, yeah. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, why didn't he fight Derek Chisora when he was working under the Matchroom banner? But it would have been,
Chisora, I don't think
would have been a better fight than Dave Allen.
Yeah, but I don't think Derek Chisora was with Matchroom, was he, at that point?
Well,
he's still not with him now. He's just.
That's what I was going to say. Technically, he's still not with them. He's just working on the shows.
Yeah. So they could have made that. Yeah, they could have made that. But yeah, I would love to see before the end of his career, which is any time now. I would love to see him against any one of those guys you mentioned.
Yeah, take the chance. It's high risk for a lot of fights, but a lot of the talk would stop if he beat a couple of these top 10 guys, and a lot of us would be sitting back going, wow, maybe he is actually as good or close to PBC advertised him to be. You know, so
Yeah,
that's the way to get the respect from the fans, is step in there with
yeah,
someone.
100.
You know, or even
Step
jump
in there
in.
with somebody outside
What was that?
of the PBC.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, step in there with somebody outside of the PBC. Step inside there with one of the top 10 guys, one of the guys you've mentioned. If you have any ambition, you know, obviously there's a PBC model, and I suspect they're pulling his strings. I suspect he would have loved to have. I mean, who wouldn't take a beating for $6 million that he was being offered?
Yeah.
Who would not take a beating? You take a beating, go down, take a knee, get a little rib shot, take a knee. Just keep your head out the way. You know what I mean? Just keep your head out the way. Take a rib shot, go down. People would understand. You're 6 million richer. Walk away with 3. Invest it sensibly, and you can live on that.
Yeah, for sure. I've just had a thought for the 18th of July rematch card for Wilder and Fury. Another heavyweight dust-up that would work because the PBC and Top Rank are working together anyway. Why not have Oscar Rivas versus Luis Ortiz on the undercard? That's a damn good fight.
Oscar Rivas, Luis Ortiz. Yeah, Oscar Rivas is there. Has dropped all the way back to 17. That's a bit naughty. Should be a bit higher than that, I would have imagined. But Oscar Rivas versus Luis Ortiz, that would be great.
Yeah, two
That would be great.
southpaws.
That would be two southpaws.
Yeah. Also,
I don't like fighting each.
Also, Rivas is ranked number 3 with the WBC, so there's some extra incentive there for Luis Ortiz as well to try and get back to a mandatory position.
Yeah. I'd watch that fight. I'd watch that fight happily. Yeah. But that's so Oscar. So really, we're talking about top 15. Anybody in the top 15? Matter of fact. Top 15, yeah, top 15. Actually, Dominic Breezel's in there, so I'll take him out of there. But yeah, he's at 16. Yeah, Filip Pergovic, Robert Helenius. Damn, forget about that one. Charles Martin, no, don't want to see that. So we're looking at top 12. Joseph Parker is 12. Michael Hunter is 11. Anybody in the top 12, top 15 type of thing, preferably top 12, is a good fight, is something that I would be interested in seeing. However, I can't visualize the PBC finding anybody in the top 15 for Ortiz's next fight.
Charles Martin could be a possibility, but I suppose he's busy with the IBF and Robert Helenius. That'll be a final eliminator, so I guess we can count him out.
Yes. Yeah, we can count Robert Helenius out and Charles Martin out, so it takes us up to the top 12. Joseph Parker, Michael Hunter, are at 10. Boom, top 12 and upwards. Will we see that out of Ortiz? Well, history says no. If you look at his record, then historically, no, we're not going to see him fight a top 10 guy.
I'd love to be able to have him prove himself at elite level so I can stop telling people who keep saying, oh, Ortiz would knock him out in 2 rounds. I could stop replying to them and say, maybe you're right. I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But right now, I can't.
Yeah. No. It'd be great if we could do that. It'd be great if we could just, we just need to see Ortiz against a legit top 10. And after Tyson Fury beats Deontay Wilder again in July, I want to see Deontay Wilder against a legit top 10 also. Non-PBC top 10. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Daniel Dubois, Filip Hrgovic, Efra Jugba. Take on one of these young guns. Edge Cabello even. There's plenty to choose from.
Yeah. Anybody in the top 10. Anybody in the top 10. I just love to see Deontay Wilder against someone in the top 10. Just, non-PBC. Let's have it. Let's see. Let's see if he doesn't retire, because I'm really curious now about what happens next. He's had it all his own way. He's had the matchups which appear to have suited him. I'll give him credit for Ortiz. I'll give him some credit. He's a southpaw. That's awkward, and he was ranked top 10, so I'll give him credit for that. But it would be just nice to see what happens after he gets beat, because I'm convinced he gets beat third time around. I'm convinced.
I agree.
I mean, how many people don't think that he's going to lose again in the third? I don't know. I have to think that even his own people, your people too, even his own people are skeptical about him. From what I'm hearing, his own, that side of the pond, they're skeptical as well. They're very skeptical. I got to think that I don't think there's more than 25% of boxing fans who are interested in that fight think that Wilder's going to win. I had to guess.
Well,
and so
if we put it this way, even the most hardcore Deontay Wilder fans, I don't see any of them talking about what Deontay can do to beat Fury in the third fight. All they want to talk about is getting that belt back for Wilder without having to fight for it, one way or another. It's what they're all obsessed with. So for me, that rings alarm bells saying, I have no faith in the guy that I've been backing for so long to win the third fight and get what he thinks belongs to him back.
Totally fascinated. I'm totally fascinated by this third fight. Okay, let me go on record as saying I think the third fight is going to be bigger than the second one. So I've got to be probably one of the first people ever to say that. But the more I think about it, the more I think the third fight, it's just so intriguing. I'm totally intrigued about the third fight, because I see it being another battering. But can Deontay Wilder adapt like Anthony Joshua adapted? Can Deontay Wilder adapt and pull out a victory? I'm totally fascinated. I don't think he can. I think he gets beat worse the third time around. I'm still compelled. It's still compelling.
I'm pretty much on board after we broke down the possibilities of how we thought the third fight might go. When we break it down into modules of whose stock goes down, but the other stock goes up to make up for that loss, and how much interest there could possibly be because of whatever reasons. I'll go on record and say at this stage, I think it's going to be at least the same as the second fight. I'm not going to say it's going to do better as yet. When you get closer to it, I might be able to say that, but I can't see it being doing any worse. And I think this COVID-19 pandemic stopping boxing, when it does come back, is actually going to help, because there's going to be that much more interest of everybody who hasn't watched boxing for so long. So definitely compelling. I also think that Wilder is going to get beaten third time around, but I'd love to be proven wrong. Not because I want Wilder to win, but because I want to see a competitive fight. And if it is competitive and Wilder wins it while it's competitive, then kudos to him, and I'll give him all the credit he deserves. For sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If he wins, then, it's a fair win. Then boom, that's awesome. That's incredible. What happens next? Let's get it on. I don't really have a dog in the race. Tyson Fury won. There's some illegal tactics used, yes, but I think he won. It's a win. It's one in the win column. He gets the winner's check. I'm fascinated by them doing it for the third time. I'm fascinated about what happens next.
Indeed.
After that fight, what does each guy do after that fight? Who does Deontay Wilder fight after? I want to lure out the two PBC guys, the two top PBC guys. I want them to be lured out from the PBC and fighting outside of the PBC, fighting legitimate top contenders outside of the PBC.
That doesn't necessarily mean fighting Matchroom fighters either, does it? Anybody outside of the PBC.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be Matchroom. There's fighters in the top 10 outside, that aren't with PBC and aren't with Matchroom. Boom. I just want to see, just legitimize, show us your real levels, because I think we've got a glimpse of Deontay Wilder's real level. But that said, I mean, he was fighting against probably the trickiest heavyweight out there at the moment. Got to be up there with the skills. Got to be the top man, or the top, maybe the other man who's known for exceptional skills. Maybe that's Alexander Usyk. So you have to say Tyson Fury is probably top 2 in terms of the most skillful heavyweights. I say he's number 1 in terms of the trickiest heavyweights. The slapping with the inside of the wrist, the flicking jab, the feints. I think he's the trickiest heavyweight. So there's no shame in losing to Tyson Fury. But let's just see the true levels here. Let's have Ortiz and Wilder fighting outside of top rank.
PBC.
Let's see what happens. Let's see.
Yeah, for sure. I'm down with that. And with that, I think we're probably gonna wrap it up there. We've been on for a while, so it's been a pleasure having you on, Rafi. And if y'all haven't already, make sure you get over to Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and check out the content. And you might catch me over there some days as well. So, appreciate you dropping in, Rafi. Any final words before we go?
Just the virus seems to be hitting everything, including the viewing figures. I don't know what people are doing. You think they'd be locked up indoors, but I don't know. Maybe we can have a baby boom soon, Jono.
Yeah, turn off the TV. Make some fun.
Turn off the TV, turn off the Wi-Fi, cut the Wi-Fi or the 5G wavelengths floating around your area. I think people are just chilling out to the max, you know what I'm saying? So maybe we can use this as a time to reflect re-energize and move forward more with more positivity and optimism if we survive the dreaded virus. And thanks to you, big boys. Nice to join you. Nice to have the opportunity since I got some time off now.
It's all good.
And smash the like button over here, folks. And much obliged. Speak to you again soon, John. Take care.
Okay, bro. Take it easy, man. Big thank you to everybody else who turned up in the chat as well. We'll be the same without you. Next time, don't be afraid to hit that link and come and have your say, or even just a yarn about any old thing at the moment, because there ain't no boxing on. So we'll catch you next time, and I'm out of here. So that's it for today. Appreciate y'all coming and checking out the Big Boys Boxing content. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Also, if you want to get more involved, you can go to the Big Boys Boxing channel page, and over here on the top right there's this Discord icon here. If you click on that, it will take you to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. This is it here, and these are the text channels here. The info is all about the channel and how to get involved. General chat, we all just talk about boxing, any subject, everybody's welcome. Live fight links, I drop links here that will take you to live fight events. I generally drop the link here 24 hours before the fight, so if you don't have a broadcast, you can come here and find a way to watch it. Also, fights that I do record, I will be posting here. I've got a couple here already, as you can see. And down here, the voice channels, live panel. If you'd like to get involved with the live YouTube streams, the panel is on here. Once you get here, you just click on live panel, and as you can see, you're in. If you'd like to mute at any point, there's a little mic icon here. Click on that and you are muted. And if you'd like to leave the call, this is your hang up button. Simple as. And down here, this is anytime chat. It's another voice channel. You can get on here and talk with anybody who's in there about whatever you want to talk about. It's free for all. So get involved. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I will catch you next time. See you!